Hello, 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 everybody. How you guys all doing? Happy Monday to everybody. I don't know about you, but I wasn't ready for this Monday. I kind of wanted the weekend to continue because it was short because I had to work on Saturday. Did not like that. But anyway, good to see you guys all here. Let's do a, well, relatively quick roll call. Travelers Travels, Canadian miner Kyle Rogers, and the infamous Sunflower Mama. Keith Betts. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. Tech Man, appreciate you being here, buddy. Let's see. Keith Betts had a lot to say. Crypto Mining. Thank you for being here and thank you for being a member. I really do appreciate it. And you are more than welcome. Still haven't watched that video yet. I lived it. I don't really need to watch it. I'm just kidding. Go watch the video. He talks about how we got through fixing his Flex node. Let's see. Retro Mike, thank you for being here. Crypto Bedell. Boinker139, and thank you for being a member. Appreciate it. Rude Puts. And it jumped on me. Rude Puts. 4J. Paul D. Nope. Flannel still has not changed. The diagonal, not changed yet. But good try. And you cannot call the flannel changing until it actually shows up. It doesn't count. You would disqualify yourself. So be careful when you say that. Thank you 56 for the super chat. Very much appreciated. And I'm sure there's ramen noodles that go with that. I will be very disappointed if there's no ramen noodles with that. Okay, there. My wife just said there are ramen noodles, so that's a good thing. All right, anyway. Let's see. Kyle Rogers, I think I already said. K-Trim, thank you for being here. Blue Dragon Mining, appreciate you being here. Aragon Strider. Automatic Beats, the Mining King, thank you for being here. Do you like my little emoji thingies? Anyway, Sox Fan, thank you for being here. Let's see. Semper DeFi. Talk a little bit about that tonight. Not much. Ace at Cisco. I got that name right this time. Thank you for being here. Hugo Down. Meathead 213. DC3. Integra Guy. Thank you for being here. Hey, how about those electric prices today? Got up there a bit. Closer, just over 20 cents. Not for the whole hour, but we did get over 20 cents for a portion of an hour. Let's see. Cook 4015, appreciate you being here. And of course 56, thank you for being here as well. And I think that covers everybody. So again, welcome to Mondays with Max. I am Max Voltage, your host of this hour, or however long it takes. So tonight I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I actually have been asked, people are kind of asked me a couple of times, how did I get into mining and what's my background and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to kind of give you the elevator speech, a little bit longer than an elevator speech because I can't do 60-second elevator speeches, but just to kind of give you an idea. Well, back where I grew up, no, I'm just kidding. So as a high schooler, I used to be I'm very competitive. As I was growing up, I was always into sports. Was a good athlete. Got recruited to some colleges for basketball, but ended up going to the University of Illinois for electrical engineering, which at the time was the number 3 school for electrical engineering. So I was like, cool. I got into a really good school, so I'm going because that's where my mom wants me to go. Anyway, which wasn't a bad thing. That's where I met my wife, so things turned out really, really well. I would not recommend a lot of people to go there. It's a good school, but it's not a school where they teach. It's a school where you get through, and you get out of it what you put into it. But at the same time, I don't know about you, but I like to go to college to a place where they actually think about actually teaching, as opposed to here's the book, teach yourself. So anyway, but I went there, then went to go work for Motorola for 7.5 years. In the meantime, I also got my MBA from a college they had on campus, which was Northern Illinois University. It was on the Motorola campus, so it was very convenient to do that. So I got my MBA, and then I went over to go to Tel Labs. Was actually doing computer stuff there. Was actually in my end days at Motorola, I was a product manager for a network management product. And then when I went over to Tel Labs, I was a marketing manager. I started out as a product manager, but then went over to, hold on a second. I left my Discord connected. There we go. Now it's disconnected. I was deafened, but they couldn't hear what I was saying. But anyway, I digress. All right, let me get that back up. Okay. So anyway, so I went over to Tel Labs for a few years, was in their network solutions group, which was their element management system, and became the marketing manager. Did so well that the guy who was the director wanted me to come over to follow him over to cable telephony. And that was not a good idea because I was on the Comcast, well, actually at that point, AT&T broadband account, and then got bought out by Comcast. And yeah, about 2/3 of our business went away. This was back in 2001 and got laid off 2 weeks prior to 9/11. So yeah, it was a little tough finding a job in that market right after 9/11. And so a couple months later, I got a call from a mortgage company. And they said, hey, how would you like to go do mortgages? And I'm like, well, that's an interesting idea. Not for you, but I called the mortgage company that I had done mortgages with. And they remembered me and they said, yeah, I think you'd be good. So I did that for about 6 years. So was able to make quite a bit of money during that period of time, but then it fell out and then I wasn't making much money. And so then I wanted to get into a new industry. And at the time I was really into cycling. And so I ended up getting a job with Giant Bicycles for 4 years, worked for them, not making a ton of money, but really loved it. And then new management came in, didn't matter how well I was selling. I was in the top 5 in growth, and he said, see you later. So I ended up going to work for another bicycle company that will remain nameless because, well, I don't like them either. I don't like Giant either, but that's besides the point. But worked for them for a year, and they were worse. They were messed up worse than Giant was at the time. So, and then after that, kind of went around to a couple different industries, worked in health insurance. Don't recommend it. I was actually doing media sales for a website basically called The Rideshare Guy. I was doing Uber and Lyft at the time. So I was writing articles for that website as well as selling advertisement for the website. We were selling listings of insurance agents that actually sell car insurance specifically for rideshare drivers. So I was basically listing their names on this directory, so they were getting business through that, and it was actually working out really well. And then he basically said, "See ya, thanks for selling all that. I don't want to give you a third anymore. I'm going to take it all." So I set all this up for him and was basically all on commission, and then just said, "See you later." So anyway, is what it is. And then shortly after that, I started, I actually was delivering for Amazon for a company, and then they hired me on to actually become an operations manager with them. And so I was running the Amazon group, all the delivery drivers, all the dispatchers, and I was running that. And then Amazon ended up taking it over themselves. So then I was doing FedEx Smart Post and a couple other things. And then a friend of mine, because I wasn't really happy there because we were working like 100-hour weeks. If I think it's bad now, that was way worse. But anyway, a guy in electronics manufacturing, they were looking for program managers. So I interviewed there. So I ended up working there for 2.5 years and enjoyed that, but was the odd man out when the two customers that I had, one customer was moving all their manufacturing to Mexico in order to avoid the tariffs. And the other company was moving, this was a box build, so a really heavy box build. So transportation was going to be expensive. So they were moving their whole company from the northern suburbs of Chicago to Arkansas. No, sorry, Oklahoma? I don't know. Somewhere down south, far away from where we are in Chicago. So basically both of my customers were going to be significantly reduced. So again, odd man out was the last man in, first man out. So there's just sort of a lot of reasons why it made sense for them to do that. So anyway, and then fast forward another 6 months after that, and my old boss from the first logistics company that I worked for called me and said, "Hey, how would you like to get a job? This is way different than what we were doing before. Trust me, it's not that bad." And so now I'm working for him again. So anyway, that's the history. So how did I get into mining though? So back in 2019, I'd already built a computer for my son. And now it was time for me to build one for my daughter. And in the process, I was like, okay, we're going to have to get a graphics card. And I had heard about this thing called mining. And I was like, hey, how about we try this? I mean, just kind of as a lark. Just wanted to kind of learn about something new. So my son already had a graphics card. My daughter was getting a graphics card. So I was like, okay, cool. And I'm going to get a graphics card because when my son was building, and actually I take that back, my son was building his second computer at the same time. I had his first computer. So I bought a graphics card for that computer. So we were all mining. And my son, he had a real flaky 2060 that actually was replaced twice, Asus. Anyway, and so he really never got into it just because his card was real flaky. But anyway, and he's into a lot of other things, so he just never really caught on to it, was never really that interested. That's fine. He just has different interests. My daughter, though, really liked it, and so she got into it and got a second card for her. So she's been mining on 2 cards all that time. Well, I really caught the bug and just got very fascinated by the whole thing, got into the community. I really have a lot to thank Savage Mind for because he was kind of my in with the community with his poker games after his Friday night streams. So it was, and actually his daily streams as well when he was doing, I think 3 times a week is about what he was doing at the time. So that was my introduction to Red Panda, Nemesis, Crypto Mikkel. I keep thinking Savage Mind. I'm trying to think of, oh my gosh, why can I not think of his name? Anyway, I know I'm forgetting somebody, but anyway, there were a bunch of us that were in those. Yashnik was also in those poker games as well. But it was my introduction to all those people, and that was kind of where all this started, and actually, in a way, getting into the community, it really helped when I was out of work, because it gave me purpose, because at the time I was feeding information to the community about everything that was going on with 1559. I was involved with Timbiko and Micah and trying to figure out, if there was a compromise, because that was being talked about, which was like a 4-letter word to the ETH community, not the mining community, but the ETH community. There was no compromise. So anyway, so I was really involved in that and got really knowledgeable about all the kind of inner workings of the Ethereum group and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I've always had a thirst for learning. And when I kind of got a taste of mining and kind of understood how much there was to learn, I just soaked it all up. And that's basically kind of the history of how I kind of got to be where I am right now, and having a YouTube channel, and where I guess you guys all listen to me ramble on like I did for about 15 minutes now. So anyway, that was my 60-second speech stretched out to 15 minutes, which is what you come to expect from me. So there you go. Anyway, Hot Crypto Mining, thank you for the $5 super chat for that perfect hairline. Yeah, oh, did he? I did not see that one. Oh, Sox fan, thank you very much for the $4.99. Here's my birthday text. Turned 40 today. Well, congratulations. So how do you think the Sox are going to do against the Cleveland and Minnesota? I guess they have like 8 games in 7 days against those 2 teams, which are leading the division. Yeah, be interesting. I have a friend of mine who's a Sox fan, and he's like, no, I just want him to lose. I want him to get rid of La Russa. He's very much down on the team. But anyway, alrighty. So anyway, that is the history of that. So, Hawk Crypto for that perfect hairline. Yeah, I am fortunate to have the hairline I do at my age. That's some good genes from my father. Although it could be from my mom. I don't know. But yeah, makes me it kind of lies about my age. All right. Oh, Hugo Down, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. Unboxing Project, thank you for the $6 super chat. I appreciate it. Love the drawn out 15-minute, 60-second rant. Well, I appreciate that. Sox fan, I will definitely share that with the guy in my shipping and receiving office. Lose them all, want La Russa gone. Yeah, it sounds like it's a pretty much a theme. Alrighty. Let me go back into the chat, see if there was any tags. Oh, Mining King, the 411. Let's see here. Rude puts, and now he is the nuclear professor. No, and actually I didn't even talk about that. I have a recurring nightmare. It happens once about every 3 years. I actually, when I was in college, missed a midterm. I woke up in the middle, not in the middle of the midterm, but I woke up while the midterm was halfway done. So I rushed over there with 15 minutes to spare, and I said, I'm really, really sorry. And he's like, just wait outside. So of course I'm like stewing like you wouldn't believe. And he comes outside, and I'm like, I'm really sorry. I overslept. I was cramming, and I'm really sorry. What can I do? And he's like, well, I can't have you take the midterm because that wouldn't be fair to everybody else. I said, okay. He's like, how about we do this? We'll make the final worth your midterm and your final. I'm like, done. That's awesome. He knew that I really enjoyed his class and I knew the material. So he knew that he's like, yeah, you know the material. He's like, you'll do fine. Just don't miss the final. Like, don't worry, I won't miss the final. But yeah, I have that nightmare about once every 3 years, waking up in a cold sweat. Anyway, alrighty. But anyway, that was a nuclear engineering course, so that's why I brought that up. Can we acknowledge Max's perfect hairline? Oh my God. Okay, enough about the hairline already. It's looking pretty good tonight. Okay, alrighty then. Oh my God. Well, I guess that's better than some of the other things you guys talk about. So, what is that? So tag. Anyway. All right, let's see if I've been tagged by anybody else. Oh, Mining King, thank you for the $5 super chat. The general voltage story. He now leads us to victory in PUBG. Hardly, but it is fun. Hey, Red Panda, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Big Wooly, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Big Wooly comes in. Wow, come in, and Max is waking up in a cold sweat. Red Panda, I missed my final exam in my first year of accounting class in college. Failed and never went back to college after that semester. Wow. Well, maybe I should share that with, I don't know if my nuclear engineering professor is still alive. Maybe I should share that with him because maybe that would have been my story if that had happened to me. But I was pretty much in it. I wasn't going to fail out. But at any rate, hey, I think you've turned out okay, Red Panda. Number 2 StarCraft player in the house. Ooh, those are fighting words, Red Panda. Anyway, all right. Galactus, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Alrighty. Well, a couple other things I wanted to talk about tonight. The other thing I wanted to show was my farm. Kind of show like how it's set up and such, because we've talked about it a bit and I've shown bits and pieces, but I kind of haven't shown it all put together. So hang on a second while I get things rearranged here. I think this is the right one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is a video, but I'm just going to kind of talk to it. So you can see that going up the stairs, there's no door at the top of the stairs. It's straight, there's no way to stop the air from coming out of the basement. We wanted to make the basement part of the rest of the house as opposed to it just being a separate entity. So anyway, so what we needed to do in order to keep the heat over in the one area and keep the heat out of the rest of the house, plus keep it out of the other side of the basement, because this side of the basement is now my daughter's. So this is kind of her getaway, family room, office, everything where she goes when she's not in her bedroom and not hanging out in the house with us, but it's her getaway spot. So anyway, so we needed to keep that area cool. So let me hit play on this. You know what? I'm going to turn off the desktop audio because there's no real audio to it. So let's hit play. So anyway, so that's a curtain that my wife put up. In fact, let me go back again. So if you notice, this wasn't an easy thing to do because it wasn't like a straight across. This is like a 45-degree angle to this corner over here. Oh, I'm pointing to the wrong thing. This is like a 45-degree angle to this over here, and then this is a 90-degree angle. So this isn't directly across. So it's not like you just put like something straight across and just put it here. Plus, you needed to also cover this area over here. So we needed to try to block as much of the heat and air off from this spot. So got this thing from IKEA where she hung like a wire from the ceiling. So there's like, it's connected to this wall over here, then in the middle, and then to this wall over here, and then it comes down, and then just one coming down here and one coming down here. It's actually pretty amazing. We're surprised that it works as well as it does. When you go from one side of that curtain to the next, it is unbelievable. It's almost a 20-degree difference. So that's worked out really, really well. And it's helped keep the house, even when it's 90 out, still keep it 72 to 74 degrees. So, all right. So anyway, and then here's the other side. Pay attention. Do not pay attention to how messy the house is. Anyway, so this is the other curtain. And then going in here, we're going out to see the back where the mining rig is. So as you can see, bottom is I've got an Octominer. This is a sluice frame, the original sluice frame, which is 6 GPUs. And then on each side I have on stands, the ones that Chump Change made. I have two 1660 Ti's, and then that one is all my 5700 XTs. In the Octominer is all my LHR, my 3000 series LHR cards, which is 6 3070 Ti's, as well as 5, I don't remember. It's 3060 Ti's and 13070, I believe, is down here. Anyway, and then in the to the left, that's my Raptorium miner. That's my CPU miner with a 5950X in there. And that is actually hooked up to 120 in order to give a little bit more headroom to the rest of the rig when I decide I want to change something to when I want to change something to another more power hungry coin. And then in the middle, which this has worked absolutely, as Chump Change would say, mint. I have two box fans that are just sucking air from the bottom through the top. So they're blowing up through the cards. It works really, really well. It keeps everything nice and relatively cool. Obviously, it's 90 degrees down there, but I'm not upset about the temps that my cards are mining at. Let me continue. And then you can see, you'll be able to see as I get closer. Well, I'm going to go into each one. Oh, yeah. And right now it's 90 degrees in the basement. It's about 84 degrees outside, something like that. So it's a little humid, 44%, but not too bad. And then I'm going to zoom in on each one. So there's my X12 Octominer. Like I said, that's my sluice with the 5700 XTs and the two 1660 Ti's on the end. And then the Raptorium rig. Two fans, two box fans blowing up through it. And then all these cards up at the top are all my non-LHR 3000 series cards, except for that one in the back right corner. That one is a 5600 XT. So, and then you can see in the very back, you can see the fan. That's basically we made a long time ago with the window. And now I'm showing you that over there has a fan blowing air in. We found these screens that you can put in place of the window in the window well. And the fan's blowing air in. And then back there, that one already had a slider window on it because that's the escape hatch for the basement. It's required by fire code. And so that one also has fan blowing in. So... alrighty, enough of that one. And then let me show you the other one. Hold on. TPS Miner, thank you for being a member for 5 months. I appreciate it. Love the setup. All that liquor must be pretty warm. Yeah, probably is pretty warm. Didn't think about it that way, but yeah. All right, let me go into this one. So there's my basically 200 watt Raptorium rig. Runs anywhere between 190 and 210 generally. So I was able to take that off of the 30 amp circuit. There we go. You can see it a little bit better there. And then you have the main circuit. That's my 30 amp circuit. So basically running at pretty close to the limit. We're at 23.29. At the 24 is the 80% limit. My voltage is a little high, which is good because that does keep my current down a little bit. But the limit on watts should be right at around 5,700 watts. So you can see I am pretty darn close to that limit. One of the things that has me up against this limit is the fact that the Octominer is running at 100% fan, which obviously pulls more power when you do that. And the reason why it is because I have a couple of For the Win 3 3070 Ti's that do need to be repadded. And so I'll be doing those probably within the next month or two. But right now they're running less than 60 degrees Celsius on the core, and they're running less than 100. They're running around 96 degrees on the MEM, so not too bad. So Red Panda, Mucinex is a good call. I'm telling you, Neti and I don't know what she just said, but I bet she said apple. You didn't say the apple cider? I told him that earlier. I sent him a DM on that. So apple cider vinegar and honey. I'm telling you that, along with the neti pot, if you still have it in your sinuses, it's amazing what the difference is. Like I said, I used to have a ton of sinus infections, and when I started doing that, it was done. I hadn't had to do it in a while. It's almost kind of like I've gotten rid of the problem because I maintained it enough time where any amount of infection that was left was flushed out. So, all right, well, let me go back because I know I've missed a whole mess of comments. Let's see. All right, I commented on that one. Went the IT route thereafter, LOL. Yeah, like I said, did pretty well, although you're kind of sick of that, I guess. Unboxing projects. Check your Discord, LOL. Yeah, I know. You heard those beeps. Yeah, like I said, I was still in a chat, although I was deafened, so nobody could hear me, and I couldn't hear them, but I was still in that chat. Oh, I see there's a whole bunch of people commenting on your ticket. I just seeing your response there, Red Panda. Anyway, Big Wooly, I see those HelloFresh boxes. Yeah, we actually used to get HelloFresh a lot. A couple of times we used to get one delivery a week, but used to get 3 meals for the week, and highly recommend them if you can get a consistent delivery from them. That was our problem. We could not get a consistent delivery from them, and it was just like all over the place, and we were constantly complaining about the deliveries because they weren't showing up, and we just finally said enough's enough. Yeah, I saw the title of the video, Sox fan, but I didn't see why. The reason I suspected that it was because he didn't change his password. So yeah. All right, Mighty King says, what the heck is HelloFresh? HelloFresh are, they provide you the ingredients, but you make the food. But they provide you very, very detailed and really easy to make meals. And they're really good. They spice things up so that the flavors are really, really big. Anyway, it's really good. So basically, it's one of the meal services that you can get. Yeah, HelloFresh. Maybe we can get them to sponsor. Yeah, maybe. I hadn't thought about that.
Not if you just insulted them.
No, I didn't insult them. I said that they could not deliver on time. It's their delivery service that's the problem. They just need to find a more reliable delivery service. That's all. Anyway, thanks for the compliment on the setup, Red Panda. I appreciate it. Unboxing project. We need to get you a shed. Take back all that huge floor space. Well, that's something we're looking at for the summer, for next summer. Want to see where things go after the merge, and we'll decide from there. But we are looking at doing that. And by the reason why I say we and not me is because my wife's already decided where the shed's going. So I guess we're doing it. So anyway, but yeah, definitely want to get some of the floor space back. No question. Ace at Cisco, do you like the 3070 Ti better versus the 3070? I'm sure you meant 60 Ti, not 30 Ti. You get better density with the 3070 Ti, but from an efficiency perspective, the 3070 and 3060 Ti are better. So actually the 3070 is going to be more efficient. So yeah, I mean, I like the 3070 Ti. I think it's kind of a cool card. What I'll probably end up doing is taking right now I have the 3070 Ti's in the Octominer, but I'm probably going to take 2 of those out and give them to each of us. One for my wife and one for me in our computers, instead of her running a 3060 and me running a 3070. So anyway, we shall see. But yeah, those are all plans that we've talked about in the future. I've thought about actually taking her computer and possibly turning it into a NAS and building another computer for her. Thought about actually just upgrading her processor. Yeah, anyway, I definitely need to upgrade her computer because she wants to do some video editing on it. And I'm sorry, an i3 just doesn't cut it. Although she did not complain at all. She's like, hey, it crashes all the time, but at least it doesn't forget what you did. I was like, okay, that's true. But oh my God, this is making me crazy with how much, Adobe Premiere was crashing. It was quite ridiculous. Anyway, let's see. Is DJ here? DJ be switching accounts on us? Oh, did he? Oh, DJ Waters. Yeah, he's switching to his old account. It's not really doxing himself. Everybody knows he's got his alter ego. I don't know which one's his alter ego because the other one came first. So we'll see. I don't know. Anyway. Alrighty. Let's scroll down to see who else tagged me. Oh, Red Panda. I have 2 more days to get better or else no more videos. LOL. Let's see. I got COVID last year. This is unboxing project. I got COVID last year and defeated it with Maker's Mark and ibuprofen. Now I swear by it for anything. I feel yucky. Totally worth it. That's funny. I mean, what did they used to do? They used to give booze to kids when they would have a cough, like kill the crap in the back of their throat. Murky Solution. Home Chef is good and pretty much on time. I'll have to look into that. We did try another service, but it was very different and it just wasn't as good. It was more convenient because you didn't have to like make everything. But the quality was definitely not the same just because of the type of food it was. Mining King, Chinese every night for the win. Mongolian beef and pork fried rice. LOL. Hey, now we'll talk offline. Let's see. Okay, and I think that is all the comments that I was tagged in. So I see DJ Mines. Oh, he changed. There we go. 400 amp panel is in New York. Tomorrow we get it, baby. Cool. Can't wait to see the videos on that. Yes, I need to get on the bike. I totally need to get on the bike. I need some exercise. Although today, with how everything I had going on at work, let's see. I'm over 11,000 steps today. So there we go. So at least I got some exercise. And it was hot as you know what in the warehouse. Alrighty. So enough of that. I think that was everything I was going to go over there. Oh, missed one thing actually. Let me pull up this picture. So this picture actually shows kind of how detailed we got on this. So we didn't want any of the intakes to actually be pulling in hot air because that would make the air conditioner work harder. So in order to make sure that this intake, and this is the intake for that part of the basement, we made sure that the curtain was pulled to the other side of that intake. So yeah, like I said, it works really, really well. I'm very surprised at how well it worked. So very happy about that. Alrighty. Thanks, Red Panda, about the hairline. Alrighty. All right, let me switch to a different look and then switch to my other window. Not that one, not that one, that one. There we go. So I always scan the news before we go on, or before I go on the stream, and I found this one very interesting. I'm sure you guys have all heard that 3 arrows, 3AC as they call them, they are the cause of a lot of the problems we've been having lately with Celsius and Voyager and Vald and Celsius. All of those had ties to 3 arrows. And anyway, so yeah, 3 arrows finders are now in hiding. So yeah, obviously I'm glad that this is somewhat segmented to a smaller part of the market, and I'm hoping that it stays within that group. But yeah, we'll see if this ends up expanding beyond where it is right now with, again, like I said, Celsius. BlockFi is another one that was affected by it. So hopefully we can keep it within that space, and that, you know, we won't get bank runs on a lot of the other exchanges. I know there's been some things talk about Coinbase being an issue. So hopefully we can stop it here and draw the line, and it goes no further than here. So any further than this, and it will surely get a lot worse. So as long as we don't go beyond these companies, which it doesn't sound like it will, I think the overall space will be okay. Anyway, and then the other thing we actually, this was suggested by somebody in the chat prior to the stream, talking about why do I like NVIDIA over AMD? Like, why would NVIDIA be better? Chili, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that super chat. I love you too, Chili. Hope you are feeling better. I think last night you did say that you were feeling better, so that's good. Ooh, sorry to hear that, Unboxing Project. That's got to be a tough one. At least it ain't 5, I guess. I guess that's the one thing. But yeah, I wouldn't like to be out 4 figures. So, okay, now I'm going to get into the religious war in the chat, where AMD is better than NVIDIA. NVIDIA is better than AMD. So I'm of the standpoint of, I have both. And I like NVIDIA because it is more versatile. Now, what's interesting is when I originally made that determination, the overall environment was much different. You had Firo that was on MTC. I believe it was MTC. Merkle Tree. Anyways, Merkle Tree algorithm or something like that. I think it was called MTC. Anyway, that, like, AMD sucked at that. And that was like the most profitable algorithm out there. And certainly NVIDIA was definitely better at that. So that was definitely one of the reasons why I think NVIDIA was better. And then the other one was actually was Ravencoin, and it was on a different algorithm. It was on, was it U16R? It was like 16R, and there was a letter that came before it, X16R. Anyway, it was a totally different algorithm, and then they switched over to Kapow. So all of these coins have switched over to a ProgPow variant. So it's really kind of narrowed the number of algorithms that are out there. So it's made it so that it's not, that NVIDIA doesn't have quite the advantage that it had before. So if you look at some of the coins I'm looking at, and I know this is probably a little hard to see, but let me see if I can get down to the 3060 Ti, because that's one that I don't think we have. There's a huge advantage over anything else. So you have 3060 Ti, and then down below here you have the 5700 XT. And I think really that's a better comparison than, say, the 6700 XT, which can't mine quite as quickly as that. Now you also go down to the 6600 XT, which we'll look at that in a second. Now this is only looking at the top 3 algorithms, but if you look at the 3060 Ti, you can see that Ergo and ETH are the top 2, and NiceHash, which is about what you're going to get on regular Ergo as well, is 55 cents. In fact, let me do a refresh, see if this has changed at all. No, it's pretty much the same. And again, this is on current. So again, ETH is 68 cents, and then Ergo is 56 cents on the 3060 Ti. Now, if you go down to the 5600, look, you're looking at it, ETH is 62. And then the next most profitable coin is a ProgPow variant in Nioxa with Kapow at 32 cents. So there's a big, big drop off. So let's go down to the 6600 XT. There it is. And you can see here, now again, this is going to be less expensive than a 3060 Ti. It's also going to run at much less power than a 3060 Ti as well. So if you really look at the efficiency of the Prog Power Kapow at 27, you can pretty much multiply that times 2, and I think you're still probably going to be a little bit more efficient with the 3000 series, but the gap significantly narrows with when you start looking at some of these at the 6600 XT, just because the cost is less, the power is less. So now it'll be interesting to see what comes out with the Radeon 7000 series, because they may have a significant increase in memory speed. For NVIDIA, it doesn't appear that there will be that increase in memory speed. They'll still be staying with the GDDR6X and the GDDR6 with that, because it's not really, memory speeds is needed for gaming, but not as much as it is for mining. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that landscape changes when the next generation comes out. But anyway, I think you can see that, while I still feel that NVIDIA is more efficient, has greater hash rates than an equivalent AMD, it has narrowed quite a bit because the number of algorithms has actually decreased. Now, if you look at some of these other ones like Kryptonite GPU, it's not as efficient on AMD. Equihash 0 is actually kind of interesting when you look at like 1080 and 1000 series and 2000 series NVIDIA, because those are really good with Equihash as well as Zelhash, which we already knew that they were Zelhashes for Flux. So, and actually Zelhash is one key one that AMD does not do well at all. So anyway, it'll all depend on what coins we have coming out and what the actual algorithms are going to be, but it seems like a lot of the new ones are kind of rallying around a Prog Pow variant. So, alrighty, let me see what what type of comments I've gotten. Big Wooly says it was D Miners who asked. Yes, it was D Miners who asked, and then he went to bed. But yes, he should get credit for that question. Absolutely. Yep, Brandon Coin is hacked. I didn't watch the video, but somebody else said that it was because he didn't change his password. So I'll let that be a lesson to you. Change your SSH password. Do not leave it as the default. Hobbyist Miner says, oh, Hobbyist Miner, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you being here. All right, I love me the 6600s and 6600 XTs. I am highly considering swapping out GPUs for more of them. I mean, they do run really cool. They're a good GPU. I just prefer NVIDIA's just because of the efficiency and hash rates and versatile hash rates. I don't think you're going to get a lot of hash rate out of the 6600 and 6600 XTs on something like Flux, for example. Let's see. Paul D says AMD is bumping up their memory bandwidth. They had large cache, and NVIDIA is bumping up their cache. They had lots of memory bandwidth. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of effect that has on it. I think from what we've seen in the past that the memory bandwidth has a lot bigger effect than the cache on mining. So, but we'll see. Kirk Solar 4000 series also limited memory bus width and higher power draw. Yes. Okay, so they will be less efficient and they will be less wanted by the mining community, which would be good for gamers. But anyway, and that'll be going to my next subject here in a bit. Let's see here. Neoxa coming up in the profitability. Yes, they are. There's a bunch of things that I was commenting earlier tonight. That Aeon was at the top of the table momentarily. So yeah, I think that's been actually pumping a bit today, the value of Aeon. I don't know what exactly the value is. All right, let's take a look. Aeon quote. Okay. Crypto price. 0.031645. And it's risen by 9.6% in the past 7 days. And it's increased by 4.47% in the last 24 hours. So all you Aeon holders, there you go. Go, baby. Alrighty. Yes, enable 2FA on Hive OS. That is a very good point. I know I have, but yeah, that's definitely a good idea. But at the same time, it won't necessarily stop somebody if they can get into your network of being able to get to your rig and actually going SSH into the rig directly without going through Hive OS. So, let's see. Any other comments? Smash the like button. Max needs to eat. In case you haven't figured out, I haven't missed too many meals. So, anyway, but thank you for that, Chili. I very much appreciate that. Mining King's like, yeah, everyone go mine Aeon. Yeah, that'll change the profitability real quick because there was like 130 kilohash on it or something. It was a pretty small hash rate. So yeah, it wouldn't take much to have that profitability change. That's for sure. Oh, interesting. So Brandon didn't have 2FA activated. I thought they could actually get in if they had a way into your network where they could, and your port was open, that they could still go into there. Now, they wouldn't necessarily know your IP address if they couldn't get into Hive, but they could scan it. So I definitely understand that, yes, having 2FA activated is an important security measure, but it doesn't actually stop them if they have some type of sniffer on it or something like that, where they could still try to figure out what they could SSH into, get a logon screen up, and then put in the default. So yeah. Column mining, Google authentication is definitely one example of 2FA solution. That happens to be what I use. The only thing I would say is no matter what type of 2FA software you decide to use, make sure you know how to recover it. So important, because if you don't know how to recover your authentication keys, it's going to be very difficult to log into everything that you need authentication for. And you're going to have to work with each one of these companies to, again, reprove who you are. It's going to be a big hassle. So just make sure you do a search, find out whatever your authentication software is, make sure you know how to recover it. If, like, say it's on your phone and your phone dies, make sure you know how to recover it. No, I am not solo mining Aeon. Aragorn Strider, he was thinking it was VNC default password. Make sure UPnP is off on your routers, people, and change default passwords. Yes, so that's another example. I do have UPnP on. That's required for a Flux node, which does leave me a little open because that means people can get through any ports that UPnP opens up. So, yeah. So there is that. Let's see if there's anything else I would have missed. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that's pretty much all I was going to talk. Oh, the one other thing I wanted to talk about. I talked about this on Saturday night. Obviously we know that GPUs have dropped in price. And I really have stated it's really bad timing to buy GPUs. But there was a video by Jay's 2 cents and it struck a chord with me. And he basically said, he was showing what the predicted price was for the 4090. And it was $3,000, double what the 3090 was. And he's like, if this is where they're going with pricing, get your GPUs now, people. Because if you're waiting for the 4000 series, it's not going to be worth it. So he was thinking that get your GPUs now while the prices have dropped, because as soon as that 4000 series comes out, everybody will stop making 3000 series, and they'll be harder and harder and harder to come by, even with the crypto miners actually selling off all of their GPUs. So he suggested now's a great time to be buying a GPU. So it really made me kind of start to think, and I'm like, wait a minute. So heck, even if you weren't mining, it would probably be a good time to buy GPUs, because they probably will appreciate in value. I don't know if it'll be by the end of the year, by maybe second quarter next year, but if in fact the 4000 series does come out with like twice as expensive, because of everything going on in the world, those 3000 series are going to increase in prices. Used ones, new ones, everything will increase. So anyway, we shall see. Yeah, Tane said UPnP has to be enabled for me. Yeah, if you have multiple nodes at your home, UPnP is required. So that's both the situation for both me and Tane's. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, so no other comments I was tagged in. Alrighty. Trying to think if there was anything else. That pretty much was it that I was going to talk about. I mean, it is actually almost been an hour. You guys have any questions for me? If you do, please tag me in the chat. On that note, I'm going to drink my favorite drink, San Pellegrino. Why is it doing that? There we go. Blood orange. Love this drink. It's my version of Chum Change's raspberry ginger ale. No, not Italian, but my wife's Italian. So there you go. I married an Italian. Does that make me Italian? Yeah, it does. It makes me smart that I married an Italian. I'm sure you can relate to that. Alrighty. Wait a minute. Me too, but I got $1,000. What? What are you talking about? Messy Miners. Everybody else can hear me, can't you? It says Messy Miner. Am I the only one that can't hear Max? Hopefully you are. Okay, good. Good. Glad for that. Yeah. Hey, Hawk, back off, man. Actually, we just as an update, next week. No, not next week. 2 weeks. I will be doing like a late morning, early afternoon stream because I have to work second shift that day. So, on our 30th anniversary. Yep. On our 30th. Now, we are going to be gone for the previous. In fact, I won't be on Saturday Night Live, the Misfit Mining Saturday Night Live stream on Saturday night, because we will be on our second honeymoon, I guess you could say. But we are going to Nashville to watch a couple of concerts, so definitely looking to have a good time there, and cannot wait to get some time off. Rylan, you guys are trolling me. So GoldenEye for Evercom. Should I use your airflow idea? I have the same shelving unit. Yours is trial and error tested, ultimate placement. So for me, it worked really well. I guess it really kind of depends on the amount of hash rate and heat you have. But for me, it worked really well. Like I said, putting the fans so that they blow up. You got to have some sort of like buffer around the sides, or it will shake your shelf, and you don't want your cards shaking too much. But for me, it has worked really, really well. Definitely getting a fan directly high up on the other side of the shelf works really well, as it just kind of sucks the air directly from there. And then, like I said, it's just a matter of getting an intake. And it's all about the amount of airflow. And as I like to call it, it's an enormous grow tent. That's what it is. So it's really hot down there, but the good thing about having it be big like that is the fact that it takes a lot longer for it to get heat soaked. So if anything goes wrong, or it gets really, really hot outside for a day, it basically heats up a lot slower in the basement than it does as if you had a smaller heat tent. So anyway, love what we did down there, and it's definitely worked way better than I thought it was going to. So definitely glad for that. So I would highly recommend it. Obviously, if you can put it in a shed outside your house, I would recommend that more. Because I am definitely, my air conditioner is running almost 100% of the time. So to try to keep it where it is. So yes, I can keep a 20-degree difference, but that's because the air conditioner is running upstairs. So, all right, enough of that. Good, I can have the big screen. No, we'll keep the big screen. Thank you very much. But that is actually one of the reasons why we do want to get the mining out into the shed, so that we can have our basement back for movies and such. So, I'm Big Willie. I was like 11 when y'all got married. Well, if you think about it, we were 20. God, how old was I when I got married? That was 92. So I was 24 when I got married. So yeah, I'm like 13 years older. Back then, yeah, 13 years sounded like an eternity. Now, it's 13 years. What's 13 years? And thank you for that, Hawk Crypto. Happy anniversary. I appreciate that. Kirk Solar, have your wife make Hawk some cannoli. No, she is a Northern Italian. He is a Southern Italian. So, should I tell them that? Okay. Hawk, she just said, you're probably from Sicily. Anyway. Hobbyist miner shed mining. Woo! Yep. Keith Betts, 56. All right. See, I'm not the oldest guy here. Anyway, so obviously I just doxed my age. I'm 54. Seen some cool 50-year shirts. Yeah, right now I have, you can't see it, but I have on my Octominer shirt today. Let's see. Blue Dragon Mining, happy early anniversary. I appreciate that. Thank you. So, yeah, I'm going to be busy end of the month. I'm going to go down to see my son as well. Lives in Huntsville. So we'll go down there. It's only like 3 hours south of Nashville. So it's not 3 hours? It's less? Oh, all right. My wife says less than 3 hours from Nashville. So, all right. Hot Cryptomina family is from Calabria, Nos, Sicily. They fly their own flag. I know what he meant. I was just trolling him because he spelled wrong. Yeah. Why is it in all caps, Hawk? Did we hit a nerve? Anyway, can you look at this? You're not even on the same stream as me right now, and I'm still trolling you. And actually, I shouldn't even say that. I didn't troll you. My wife trolled you. So there you go. Anyway. Alrighty, guys. No, I'm typing too fast. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you guys for coming. I do appreciate it. It has been an hour. And again, always a good time. At least I have a good time. Hopefully you guys do too. Alrighty, guys. Thanks again. I will see you next Monday at the regular time next Monday. It's the following Monday that I'll be doing a midday stream because of work. But alrighty, guys. Have a good one. And we will see you next week.